Locked on to the Queen First Song with FM 99.9. It's 12:15 p.m. here in St. Vincent and Grenada and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. It's time for our midday news, sponsored by Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Just in time for the holidays, Quartz is saying you deserve it with its cashback rewards for customers.
It's beginning to look alive.
Shop from October 24th through to November 30th and receive Quartz cashback every time you shop. Plus, when you shop with Quartz Ready Finance, you get double the rewards. You can use your cashback rewards to purchase items for your home or special gifts for him, her, or the kids. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, only at Courts. Offer valid with minimum purchase amounts. See in-store for details. Conditions apply. Courts, bringing value home.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar has expressed gratitude to the government and people of Venezuela for the solidarity displayed in the form of a shipment of 40,000 sacks of urea fertilizer. The Agriculture Minister said the shipment comes at a time where significant increases in the price of fertilizer is taking place globally. This, he says, has had an effect on prices of fertilizer here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We hear more from Minister Caesar.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the government and people of Venezuela for this assistance. A contribution of 40,000 sacks of urea in a time when they could sell that same urea internationally and get some of the highest prices. And they've decided, because of the solidarity between our countries, that the camaraderie, they're going to support the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labour, Subota Caesar. Minister Caesar said that preparations are being made by the ministry as well as farmers in anticipation of the arrival of the fertilizer. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is participating in a UNESCO workshop for creative tourism being held in Santo Domingo from November 7th to today, November 9th, 2022. This country's delegation includes Miss Maxine Brown, Cultural Officer, and Miss Camille Solin, Development Officer, both from the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, and Mr. Ackley Olton, a filmmaker, visual and creative arts consultant. According to an official release, the workshop aims to foster an enabling environment for the integration of tourism and creative sectors focusing on film, music, arts and craft, performing arts, museums, gastronomy, media, and design. Enhance the role of local or cultural and creative industries as drivers of sustainable growth by leveraging culture-based creative tourism development opportunities in the Caribbean destinations, and strengthen cultural integration in the Caribbean and regional tourism development through increased networking opportunities and exposure to locally produced culture-based creative tourism experiences. The program component on sustainable cultural tourism aims at strengthening tourism destination management and capacities with the overall purpose of enhancing opportunities for regional integration and creating opportunities for young cultural professionals through the promotion of sustainable cultural tourism activities. Still on the local scene, Minister of Tourism Carlos James, during an appearance on the Issue at Hand program on WEFM, provided an update on the progress being made in regard to various hotel construction projects here. We hear more from Minister James.
All of the projects so far, we've done the foundation stage and we're on the ground floor now. Just started the preparatory work for that at the Holiday Inn Express. A few weeks ago, I visited the site. At the Royal Mill site, they're wrapping up the completion works to the villas, and we'll hopefully see some start to the hotel at Royal Mill, if not early, end of this quarter, early next quarter. And we've seen some work at even Maya Suite by a local developer. That is pretty much close to completion. We'll have an opening date soon. The View, which is now operational, and Sandals, they've started to rapidly advance work, and hopefully by the first quarter of 2024 we can see that facility being accessible to persons, both local and persons who are coming to our destination for the first time.
That was the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James. The Tourism Minister said work on these projects are expected to ramp up soon, with the hope being that by 2025, room stocks would be increased by at least 1,000. On to news in the region. The Grenada Tourism Authority has announced the return of Air Canada and Sunwing Airlines, which both resumed service to the Morris Bishop International Airport from Toronto Pearson Airport. In a statement, the Grenada Tourism Authority said Air Canada was a twice-weekly service on Thursdays and Sundays, and Sunwing Airlines also on Sundays. Official welcome ceremonies were held for each carrier at the VIP Government Lounge at the Morris Bishop International Airport. Both flights were at almost full capacity. Grenada's Minister for Infrastructure and Physical Development, Public Utilities, Civil Aviation and Transportation, Dennis Cornwall, said that at this time, when the convenience of travel is a pivotal factor to attracting international visitors, the resumption of direct service from Canada is critical as the country continues to rebuild from the COVID-19 pandemic. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said the opposition United Workers' Party (UWP) decision to boycott the December 6th general election is their surrender to an inevitable defeat. At a public rally last evening, Skerrit made fun of the UWP's recent leadership challenges, calling it a headless political party. The UWP said it was boycotting the snap election on the grounds that electoral reform, such as a clean voters list, is needed. The party said Skerrit's snap election is an affront to democracy and an insult to Dominica's people. The UWP has urged Dominica's President Charles Savarin to revoke the calling of election by the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Skerrit noted that the opposition had been demanding for a snap general election to be called weekly since the DLP won 18 of the 21 seats at the 2019 polls. He gave the assurance that the election will be free, fair, and will reflect the will of Dominicans. On the international scene, Republicans and Democrats are in a tight race for control of the U.S. Congress as counting continues following the midterm elections. Republicans are favored to win the House of Representatives, while the fight for the Senate is on a knife edge. Democrats gained a key Senate seat in Pennsylvania, and the results of several other close races are yet to be called. Exit polls suggest the economy and inflation were the biggest concerns for voters. Though this should have benefited Republicans, they have not seen the red wave of victories they had hoped for. The U.S. Congress is made up of two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. All 435 seats in the House of Representatives and 34 of the 100 seats in the Senate were up for grabs. Members of the House represent their local populations, and senators represent the interests of their states. Though President Joe Biden, a Democrat, is not on the ballot, the midterms will shape the fate of his agenda. If Democrats lose control of either the House or the Senate, Republicans will be able to block his plans. And finally, in sports, Pakistan reached the men's T20 World Cup final after a thunderous 7-wicket win over New Zealand in Sydney. Chasing 153 to win, Pakistan openers Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan hit half-centuries in an opening stand of 105 to tee up a stunning victory. Shan Masood hit the winning runs with 5 balls to spare to send the Pakistan fans wild at the electric SCG. Daryl Mitchell had earlier hit an unbeaten half-century as New Zealand recovered from 49 to 3 to post 152 to 4. Pakistan will now play England or India, who meet on Thursday in Sunday's final in Melbourne. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Always wanted a motorcycle. but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see courts have motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon. This is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Out with the old, in with the new. In the past, you complained